Hello everyone, this video is part 2 of the character appraisal of Gaara from the Naruto series, and if you haven't already, you can watch the first video here. I shall go through what I like and dislike about the young new Kazekage Gaara as he is portrayed in Naruto Shippuden. I shall award him a letter grade at the end that I will compare to the results of a Google Plus poll I made on him.
Very well.
Naruto Shippuden takes place 2.5 years after the end of the first Naruto series. The title character must now tackle concepts beyond his village and go on missions more personal, political, and worldly. Gaara is now the Kazekage of his land and must prove his worth to his people, other nations, and us the audience, that he is rightly qualified to hold such a historic position at the young age of 15. We see him mend relationships that we were initially given the impression to be near irreparable. This is very believable for the simple reason that his siblings had already shown they care for him in spite of his shortcomings. So when we see him playing nice with them all of a sudden, it is no real surprise. And 2 years was more than enough for them to mend their relationship. The people of his village, on the other hand, are a very different story. It is clear that they still fear him and initially follow him because the top brass had placed him there. His reserved silence only distances him more from his people. However, his earnest actions to protect them to his own peril bring them around as well, and he does not need to say anything to them to do so.
I simply prefer to let my actions do the talking for me.
When we get back to his power, that of controlling sand, it has become much bigger, and he uses it not necessarily as a weapon, but an extension of himself and his will, which is to protect or fight for what and who he believes in. He maintains the reserved composure I mentioned before, but his determination and moves in battle show the great emotion that fuels them. He does not even hesitate in crushing his enemies at all.
That's as far as you go.
Retaining the mentality of destroying them, only that this time they are the bad guys, who would have usually started the fight in the first place. He also has grown into a great leader who guides his people towards peace as he realizes that life is all about forgiveness and forging better relationships that are not tainted by past generational grudges. He even goes on to teach more experienced Kage a thing or two, and proves to them that he is more than good enough to be in their midst.
What does that mean?
Without mutual trust and understanding, all that will remain in this world is fear and terror.
On their part, the other Kage even go on to give him the position of Commander-in-Chief of the Allied Shinobi Forces during the Fourth Great Ninja War. Well, what more acknowledgement could he want? He becomes even more empathetic and is able to read situations and people in a way that he had begun to explore before the 2.5-year time skip. This is best illustrated with how he is able to understand Sasuke in his darkest hour because he had been there before.
I have come to realize that making vengeance one's bread of life does not resolve anything. It's not too late for you.
But at the same time, he manages to also assess people who we think are beyond his understanding, such as Naruto and his fellow Kage as I mentioned before. One other thing to mention would be that instead of being a different path Naruto could have taken, he has become that which Naruto aspires to be, not only garnering the title character's respect and loyalty, but ours as well. Okay, here we jump from one disbelief to another. Not only was his change from bad to good in the first series a bit sketchy, but his turn to Kazekage was even more shocking, especially considering his young age. But in his defense, he is way more mature than most characters in the series and has most likely experienced much more anyway. The position he holds, that of Kazekage, made it a requirement that he does not participate in the action until he is shown at the end when things get really dire and all else has failed. You never really feel that he is in any danger, well, except once.
What is this?
I can hardly fault the anime for this, as he does not need all our attention, as the safety of the world is a team effort and not his alone. And as the Kazekage, he has much better things to do, so no need to be upset. Yes, I'm looking at you. In the end, for me, Gaara still retains an A.
Oh, really?
Because he has managed to integrate himself into the world quite realistically, though it would have been unbelievable had it been any other character. However, it appears the people who voted on the Google Plus poll I put up disagree, as 36% gave him an A, 14% gave him a B, and a majority of 46% gave him a C. None gave a D, and 4% awarded an E to an F. The downgrade between the two series is probably due to the relentless filler arcs that ruined so many Naruto characters in my opinion. What did you award him as the Kazekage? And that is my character appraisal of Gaara the Kazekage from Naruto Shippuden. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more character appraisals and top 5 lists. Also, don't forget to watch part 1 of this video where I talk about Gaara as he is before the time skip. Until next time, I am Zakes and take care.